So this education moment was inspired by a powerful one-to-one that I had recently. A lot of great educational moments happen when we're actively connecting and communicating with others. I pull and take away and steal, respectfully, from people and thoughts and conversation I usually have. And I want to invite one member who's kind of spearheaded this educational moment during a one-to-one. Ben, come on down.
BW.
I thought you were going to say our one-to-one.
Which is
There's
there's only so much spotlight. So we're gonna do a quick. Ben put this together mostly. And Ben, if you want to kind of speak to kind of why you find open-ended questions very.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I discovered a lot doing sales is a lot of times when you talk to salespeople, they're asking a lot of open-ended questions, not so many close-ended questions. So like a lot of times it's like, oh, how are you doing? Good. So like that doesn't inspire a lot of conversations. So I think part of the why this educational moment came up, talked with John, and he asked a lot of really open-ended questions. So when when he'll say something, it'll be more, you have to give like a paragraph response. You can't just give a one-word response. So that's kind of how this conversation came up. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that leads us to the title of educational moment today: sparking better referrals
Yeah.
with open-ended questions.
All right, so thanks for giving us a few minutes today. I'm gonna chat about something that we all want, more referrals. And one of the easiest ways to get there is asking the right questions. So I'm gonna talk about the difference between close-ended and open-ended questions. And John has agreed to play the quick roll with me. Thanks, John. So John, you mentioned earlier that you're looking to grow your referrals, right?
Yes, I'm a new BNI member that is struggling with getting referrals. I feel like I'm missing out when talking to people. Like I ask them how things are going, and the conversation just kind of dies.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. It's a great, very, very super common thing that's going on. And the problem isn't what you're asking, it's how you're asking. So quick example, imagine you're at a networking event, during a one-to-one, you ask someone, how's business going? What do you think happens?
Usually just say good or busy.
Exactly. It's a natural question, but it's also close-ended. So you're giving them an easy out. They can say good, and you're done. But here's the thing, we want to keep the conversation going so we can learn more about them and maybe even find some opportunities for referrals. So let's try that out now. So John asked me a close-ended question, something you might ask at a networking event.
All right. So are you staying busy these days?
Yeah, I've been pretty busy. And that's it. So that's how quick it was. There's no more room for conversation, but what we want to do is dive deeper. So we want to get to know more about what the other person is doing. So let's try it again, but this time with an open-ended question. John, how about you try asking me about my business, but this time in a way that sparks more conversation?
Okay, how about this? What's been keeping you busy lately?
Okay, perfect. So let's see how this plays out. I might respond with something like, oh, I've been working a lot with small businesses on their bookkeeping, helping them get ready for year end. It's been great seeing, how they really take control of their finances. So you see how that's a difference, right? It's not just a conversation ender, but it's an opening and it allows him to ask me more questions. So John, you could ask me some follow-up questions. So like, what types of small businesses do you work with? Or what challenges do your clients usually face? And before you know it, you're having a real conversation and it's not just a quick exchange.
Yeah, it feels way more natural to keep talking after that. Plus, I get to learn more about you and your business.
Exactly. So when you know more about someone's business, that's when the magic happens. You might realize, hey, I know someone who needs what you're offering, or you might be able to refer someone with a similar challenge. It's all about making connections and spotting opportunities. So let's break this down. Why are open questions so effective? Anybody have an idea?
You get your customer, your prospect talking.
Yeah. What else?
More information.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly as you said. It's to help get people talking. They open the door more for more information, and that's what leads to building relationships. And as we know, BNI, relationships drive referrals.
Yeah, I think when we ask open-ended questions, we get to understand what someone really needs instead of just getting the surface level.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the key. The goal isn't just to ask, how's business or are you busy? Instead, we want to ask things like, what are you working on right now? Or what's your biggest challenge lately? These are the types of questions that will invite people to share, which could spark the conversation that leads to more referral.
Is it likely that they will have open-ended questions back to you?
Absolutely, and that's the idea, right? You don't. It shouldn't feel like an interrogation where I ask you a question, you say yes, or I ask you a question, you say no. But it should be a conversation where we're dialoguing back and forth, right? So as a challenge to you all, whether you're at a one-to-one or a networking event, try shifting your questions, go beyond yes or no questions, and ask about what they're working on, what are their ideal clients, or what's been something exciting that's happening in their business lately. So you'll be amazed at how much more you'll learn and how much more you can build and drive your referral success.